Hello and welcome to the mat. So for this restorative yin yoga session, we'll be working on a heart opening sequence. This is going to be lovely to just open out the shoulders, opening up the chest. So we will need our bolster and the blocks, and we're also going to be using our chair for a restorative forward fold as well. So just making sure that you've got those props to hand. Okay. So with that, let's get started. So just settling yourself down onto the mat. Let yourself arrive. Tuning into the space that you've created. And for the time that you've set aside for your yoga practice. So feeling into the posture, the sitting posture that you've chosen, whether you're cross-legged on the mat or sitting on a bolster or blocks. Tuning into your contact with the mat beneath you. Through your seat, through the tops of the shins, tops of the feet. But we need our mind fully on board for the practice. So let's just clear it out of all the distractions and all the stuff it's not going to need for the next hour. So go ahead and imagine that big cupboard that takes everything. Just open up the cupboard doors and put all the mind chatter, all the things that may have happened already and that perhaps are going to be happening later. We're not interested in anything, and put all of it in the cupboard. Close the doors and allow your mind muscle to completely relax. So just feel the relief, the space that's now been created in the mind. Take a few breaths in and out of the nose into that headspace. Really clear it out. Lovely, and now that your mind is fully available, we're going to take our awareness to the feet, and we're going to relax the feet completely. And then moving up the legs then, relaxing the shins, the calves, the knees, and the thighs. So let the floor or the bolster or the blocks take your weight as you relax the legs completely. And then just tilting slightly forward with the pelvis, just enough to get that nice sense of spine straightening, lengthening up towards the ceiling, as if an invisible thread is drawing you up towards the sky. So just very subtle grounding down through the sit bones without creating any tension. Nice and long in the spine and letting the shoulders drop now. Arms heavy by your side, with your hands resting on top of your thighs, but with the palms facing up, engendering a sense of giving and receiving as we're working with opening up the heart center today. The head is nice and centered between the shoulders. And the face is relaxed, it's holding no expression. So just letting go in the forehead, the area around the eyes, and the jaw. Just to make sure that your body is fully relaxed, go ahead in your mind's eye. Do the body scan again, starting at the feet, work your way up, and just releasing any tension you encounter along the way. Good, and now that the body is fully relaxed, we're going to take our awareness to the breath. And you're breathing nice and easy in and out of the nose, so without changing the rhythm or the depth. Just continue with the breathing, but take your mind along the journey. As the breath flows in through the nose, touches the back of the throat, goes into the lungs where it rolls over and comes back out. So for the next few breaths then, enjoying this conscious breathing, following with the flow in and out, and enjoying the rise and fall of your chest. And then just allowing that practice to finish on the next exhale. And we'll go from here into the warm-up. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to lower the chin down towards the chest. Inhale, take it away slightly. And then exhaling, drawing it a little closer to the chest. Inhale, take it away slightly, last time. And then exhale, really drawing it closer now, getting some space in the back of the neck. And then inhaling, rolling the head up towards the right shoulder and just turning the head enough so that the right ear dangles over the right shoulder. Stretch out the left side of the neck. And then exhaling as you roll the head back down to the chest. Inhale, coming up on the left. So just aligning the back of the head with the wall behind you as you dangle the left ear over the left shoulder. Stretch out the right side of the neck. Exhaling, rolling the head back down to center. Inhaling, coming up on the right. So keeping the spine nice and straight and the shoulders level and still. Just swing the head gently back and forth like a pendulum. So if you want to draw a smile with the top of your head, working with the breath. Good. One more from side to side. And then next time the chin comes down to center, we're going to pause that practice and inhale, lifting the head back up to between the shoulders and continue with shoulder rolls. So send the shoulders back, circle them up towards the ears and forward. Send them back, pull them up towards the ears and forward. Add the breath, inhale as they go back, exhale as they come forward. So keep that spine nice and long. Working with the breath. Easing out any tension in the shoulders. Good. Next time the shoulders come down, reverse the circles. Take them the other way. Forward, up, and back. Forward, up to the ears, and back. Still working with the breath. Inhaling as they go back. Exhaling as they go forward. Good. And the next time, shoulders come down to center. We're going to pause that practice, open up the eyes, and work with the seated spinal twist. So you're going to take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. The left hand rests behind you. Inhale, lengthen up, and then exhale, turning. So just rotate on your axis here, anchoring down the fingers of both hands, drawing the shoulders down. And then coming to the right now. So take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. The right hand rests behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn it. The twist is in the middle of the spine. Draw the shoulders down. And then one more time either side. So that's the right hand to the left knee. The left hand rests behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn it. Coming back to center, last time to the right, left hand to the right knee, the right hand's behind you. Big long inhale, and then exhale, rotate on your axis. Good, and then coming back to center. And we're going to stay here on the bolster or cross-legged and work with the seated cat-cow just to get into opening up this chest area. So you're going to take your hands, place them in front of the knees, your arms are straight, and then on an inhale, send the chest through, arching the spine just as far as is comfortable, looking up into seated cow. And then on an exhale, you're going to come the other way. So send the shoulder blades to the back of the room, anchor the hands into the knees now as you stretch between the shoulder blades, chin tucked under. Inhale, coming back into cow. Again, pressure through the palms. Roll those elbows in towards each other to open up the chest. Looking up. And then exhale, sending the shoulder blades back, but keep those elbows rolled towards each other. Good. Keep flowing. Find your own rhythm here. Inhale into your cow. Keep those arms straight, anchoring in the hands. Good. Back into cat. couple of more. Nice and flowing, no rush. Opening up your heart into cow. Feel it opening. Good. And then last time into cat. Good. Big exhale. And then coming back to center. Great. So we're going to go from here and find our supported restorative child's pose. So we're going to move the blanket. We're going to come down onto our knees. Now, if we like support, if we like the blanket underneath our knees, let's just do that bit first. So you take the blanket across the mat, place your bent knees there, toes together, knees out wide, and then bring your bolster in between the knees, and then place your chest, your torso onto the bolster, turning your head to the right. Just let your arms, the forearms, rest down on the mat. Just resting down into your child's pose. Now, if you feel that you'd like to come up a little more because you feel that that's coming forward too far, you can always take a block, one of your brick blocks here, place it underneath your bolster to bring it at a diagonal so that you're not coming in between the legs so much. So you can equally just rest into your child's pose at an angle here. Now, if you feel that your buttocks are lifted off the back of your heels, you can take your blanket, if you're not using it for your knees, and roll it into a sort of a roll like that, and place this roll underneath your thighs. So now your buttocks are lifted a little higher. You can come forward into your child's pose that way. So just making sure that you use the supports, the props that you need so that you can fully melt into your restorative child's pose. So just have your face, the left side of your face onto the bolster, looking to the right. So we're going to take some breaths here. I will leave you for a couple of minutes and I will cue you to turn your head to the other side. And then just finish this side on your next exhale. And on an inhale now, you're going to lift your head off the bolster. And as you exhale, you're going to turn your head to the left and place the right side of your face on the bolster, resting back down. With the face turned to the left, and we'll stay here for a couple of more minutes. Just keep breathing in and out of the heart center here in your restorative child. And then on an inhale now, lifting the head back off the bolster, lifting the chest, coming up into the sitting. And we're going to move the bolster out of the way. We're going to bring our knees in, tuck our toes under, and we're going to come up into standing. Lovely. So let's come up then and work with mountain pose, which actually can be worked with as a chest opener. So it starts with bringing the feet underneath the hips, toes facing forward, and start to straighten up now. So just leaning back just a little. Let the kneecaps lift and then come forward to the point where the kneecaps can drop. The legs relax. So bringing the knees are now over the ankles, the hips above the knees. Good. Start to lengthen now. Lengthen the side seams by grounding down through the feet, very subtle. And then turning the palms out, about 45 degrees, palms facing forward. So this opens out the chest. Close your eyes here into conscious standing. So once again, we're going to connect to that invisible thread, drawing us up towards the sky. Just feel how you can lengthen here, finding the space in the spine to stand tall without holding anywhere. So just have a play. Relax all the muscles, relax the legs, relax the tummy. Just breathe nice and easy in and out of the nose. And focus on the chest opening here. So take your awareness to your heart. Let your chest lift just slightly, just a little, creating no tension. And just stay here, enjoying this conscious standing. See if you can find lightness, as if you get to a place where you just float away if it weren't for gravity. Good, and then on your next exhale, just letting that go. Lovely. So now we're going to get our chairs. And we're going to place the chair on the mat, just making sure that the legs are on the mat, so it's not going to slip in any way. And we're going to get some supports and place them on the seat of the chair. So I've got a brick here, and then I've got a blanket to place above the brick, just to start with. So then you face your chair with your feet facing forward in mountain. Hinging at the hips, you're going to come forward. So come forward and connect with the support, making sure that your feet are underneath your hips here, shifting the weight into the balls of the feet. So you might need to move around a little bit here. So the pelvis tilts forward and you want to rest your head on the hairline here. So where your hairline is, you're going to place that part on the support. So the important thing here is to have a nice extension of the neck so that you're not jutting your chin out, compressing in the neck. So just make sure that your chin is tucked a little in so that we've got a nice extension in the back of the neck. And then you're going to rest your arms on the seat, or you're going to hold the elbows, letting the arms hang down like that. Now, eventually, after a few breaths, perhaps you start to feel that hamstring stretch now, letting go, which means that your head will then come lower. So it may be that after a little while, you need to take a layer of support away and bring your head down a little lower. Again, just checking with the neck. Slight bend in the knees. So just now tuning into this restorative forward fold. So we're grounding down through the balls of the feet here, sending that energy, sending the stretch up the back of the leg. The pelvis tilts forward. So go ahead and work the muscles in that way. But our forehead is resting, our head is resting. So we can allow the torso to soften here as we find the stretch in the back of the legs, the back of the thighs in particular. And then taking some deep breaths here. Just checking in with how the back of the neck feels. It's all right to make adjustments during restorative postures as the body softens. Take a few more breaths here. Just being aware of that slight bend in the knees. Good. Couple of more breaths here in restorative forward fold. Keep grounding down through the balls of the feet. That's where the weight is coming through. Good. And then we're going to get ready to come out of restorative forward fold. So bending the knees. On an inhale, grounding down through the feet, coming up, lifting up the arms in front of you, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling, letting it go nice and easy. Lovely. And then just moving the chair out of the way, bringing your blanket back down onto the mat. As we step back and come down into low lunge. So you might need your blocks on either side in front of the mat here. So we keep the right knee on the blanket, we bring the left leg forward and just aligning the heel underneath the knee here. So starting to ground down through the right foot, making sure the shin is perpendicular and that your hips are square facing forward. So maybe come up a bit, take a breath in as you exhale, lower the hips and bring them forward. So you're grounding down through the left foot and through the knee, shin, and the top of the back foot. So it's a balance. So if you need the blocks, take them lengthways here. Good. And feel that stretch now down the right side in front of the right hip. Good. So a couple of more breaths here. Really strong through the contact with the mat. The foot, knee, shin, top of the back foot. That's how you get the stretch in the muscles here. Good. Just make sure you've got this alignment. We're going to add a heart opening here. So you can take your hands off the blocks if it feels all right. Take a breath in and lean back into cactus. So really strong now through the front foot and the back leg here. Take a few breaths in and out of the chest. Good. Now we're going to come into a twist. So take an inhale. And as you exhale, bringing your right hand to the knee, your left hand to the lower spine, and then just turn to look left on the exhale. Just draw the shoulders down. Good. On an inhale, coming back to center. Take the hands to the support. On an inhale, swing the hips back so that you get a perpendicular right thigh. And we're going to work with half monkey pose, half Hanumanasana. Come up onto your heel on the front foot with the toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Hips are square and level. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bring your chest towards the left thigh. Slight bend in that left knee. Again, just making sure that you've got a perpendicular right thigh here. So just keep your hips centered. Avoid the temptation to swing the hips out to either side. So just find a hamstring stretch here. Good. Again, you're grounding down through your left heel and the shin, top of the back foot, as well as the knee. So you distribute the weight. Good. Take your hands now to the inside of that left foot and swing it back and come up onto your left knee, bringing your right foot forward. So we're going to do that sequence on the other side. So once again, we're going to align the heel underneath the knee. Get the blocks so that the hands have contact. Square the hips, facing forward, lower, so that we get that nice stretch in front of the left hip, grounding down through the front right foot and the back knee, shin, and top of the foot. So just taking some breaths here. Nice and straight in your mountain torso here, centered between the legs. Good, grounding down because it's a balance. The hands are just resting on the blocks. Good, now let's add the cactus heart opener here. So on an inhale, lifting your arms up into cactus arms. Grounding down strongly now through the front foot, the back knee, shin, and top of the foot. Opening up the heart, taking some breaths here. So cactus arms as forearms at 90-degree angle to the upper arms, palms open facing up. Good. We'll now do the twist. Take a breath in. As you exhale, come back to center and start to turn to the right. Place the left hand on the right knee, the right hand on the lower spine, drawing the shoulders down. Just looking to the right, but keeping the hips square, facing forward. So we're not dropping that left hip down. Good. Inhale, coming back to center, taking hold of the blocks now. Inhale, exhale, swinging the hips back so that you now align the left thigh. So you get a perpendicular left thigh. Come up onto the right heel. Toes are pointing up. Slight bend in that right knee. Take a breath in. As you exhale, find your half monkey pose. Lead with the chest. You come forward, find the hamstring stretch. Keep your hips square and centered. Good. Breathe into the hamstring stretch here. Couple of more breaths. And then on an inhale, coming back up, placing your hands to the inside of that right foot, swinging it back. Good, so now we're going to remove the blanket. And we're going to come onto our backs and work with supported bridge, which is an absolutely lovely heart opener. So come down onto the mat. With your feet underneath the knees are bent. And then pressure through the feet now as you lift up the pelvis and place the block underneath the sacrum. So just making sure that that block is on the back of the pelvis and not on the spine. And then keeping your arms flat by your side, palms facing down, opening up the chest here now. And just slide pressure through the feet as you work with restorative bridge. Now, of course, remember that you can increase the amount of back bend by turning the block on a different edge. So if you feel like having a slightly stronger back bend, then that's fine. Turn the block onto the long side, but making sure that it's on the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, and not on the spine. Good. So just some gentle grounding through the feet here. A very soft drawing of the chest towards the chin as you open up the heart here. So take some breaths in and out of the nose. Just make sure those knees are in line with the hips. Nice deep breaths in and out of the nose to the chest. Just a few more breaths here. Enjoying a restorative bridge. And then getting ready to come out of restorative bridge. So just pressure through the feet now. Lift the pelvis off the block. Remove the block. Let it go to one side. And then as you exhale, lower the pelvis nice and slowly, rolling out the spine, vertebra by vertebra, until the back of the pelvis is the last thing that comes down onto the mat. And then you're going to bring one knee to the chest and then the other. Just take your hands to the front of the knees. Take a gentle rock from side to side. Good. Now we're going to roll over onto the right side. And now we're going to move the chest opening just a little higher up, working with restorative fish. So you're going to take your bolster now, and you're going to place it on the mat, and you're going to come backwards, but have a block to hand. So just place the bolster across your shoulder blades so that the bolster is coming sort of underneath. The top edge of the bolster is where your armpit is, so that your arms come out to the side behind the bolster here on the back side of it. Take a block, because you'll need that to rest the back of your head. And again here, just decide how high you want your head. So take your arms out to the side, palms facing up. Maybe you want a bit more of an opening here in the throat and chest, in which case you just turn the block flat and lower the back of the head. So obviously here, this is a much stronger opening, but if you feel that this is a little compressing in the back of your neck, then just turn the block over on its edge, the long side of the edge, so that your head comes up higher. Now, with regard to your legs, you can have your legs out straight, hip width apart, or if that feels a little kind of tweaky for the lower spine, you're going to bend your knees, take your feet wide so that the outer edges of the feet are aligned with the outer edges of the mat, and then let your knees rest in. So go ahead and find your fish pose here, making sure you've got that bolster just between the shoulder blades. Shoulder blades are kind of on the other side, the top side of the bolster. Your chest is nice and open, your arms are out wide. Back of the head is supported on the block. So just closing your eyes here, taking some beautiful deep breaths in and out of the chest. Just let your heart open here, open, open. Again, if you feel you need to make an adjustment, then go ahead and do that. We don't stay in restorative postures if we're feeling uncomfortable. couple more breaths here in your restorative fish pose. And then we're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, with the knees bent, you're going to roll over onto your side, coming off the bolster, just moving it out of the way, so that you can come down onto the mat fully. And we're just going to finish with some window wipes. So taking your feet out to, if they're not there already, so align the outside edges of your feet to the outside edge of the mat, the long side of the mat. Take your arms out wide into a cross, palm facing up. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, drop the knees to the right, but keep the feet on the mat so that you roll over onto their edges. Draw that left knee down towards the mat now. Stretch that left thigh and the whole left side seam, and just tuck that left shoulder blade into the armpit as you open up that left shoulder and get a nice stretch across the chest. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale, roll them to the left. So again, you're on the edges of the feet. Draw the right thigh towards the mat. Stretch the right thigh, the right side seam. Open up and stretch that right shoulder. Inhale back to center. If it feels all right, you can add the head roll. Exhale, the knees go to the right, the head rolls to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, knees go to the left, head rolls to the right. Good, so find your own rhythm here. Let's do this a couple of more times. From side to side, work with the breath, no rush. Stretch out the spine, the chest, the thighs. Good, so one more roll to whichever side you're working on, even it up. And then on an inhale, bring yourself back to center. And from here, we go into our relaxation, into Shavasana. So if you need to sit up, come over onto one side. And perhaps you want to put a blanket underneath your head. Or have your bolster as well underneath your knees. So just find your comfortable Shavasana. Resting your head back, relaxing down, arms by your side, palms facing up. Maybe do a quick body scan now after you've made your final adjustments. Do a quick body scan from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Make sure you're completely relaxed and just melting into the mat. So get very heavy here. Let yourself just disappear and just melt into the earth beneath you. Find a nice, easy rhythm in and out of the nose. Let your breath settle. And then we're going to disengage with any thoughts or sounds Take your awareness within, find that stillness, that place of stillness and hovering between asleep and awake. And you'll hear the bell when we're ready to come out. And just bringing yourself back into the room, back into the body now. And just making some gentle movements to the hands, to the feet. And if you want to, taking your arms up over your head and taking a nice long stretch down the length of the body. And then bringing one knee to the chest and then the other. If it feels all right, hugging the knees, taking a gentle rock from side to side. And then rolling over onto your right side and just pausing there, taking some deep breaths into the back of the chest. And then pushing the upper arm into the mat and gently rolling yourself up into comfortable sitting. Taking your hands to the heart center and thanking the body for the practice today and for always supporting us in our daily lives. And then hands to the forehead for kind and loving thoughts. Hands to the mouth for kind and loving words. And then back to the heart center for always staying open in love. And we can say namaste. Thank you. Good. So that brings us to the end of our heart-focused restorative yin yoga practice. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the mat again soon.